guys, this is horrendous. I've never seen anything like it.
It's been 20 years since the Bali bombings that killed 202 people, including 88 Australians. And 10 years since Umar Patek, who assembled the bombs, was sentenced to 20 years in prison.
There is hope that this latest sentence will provide at least some comfort to the family and friends whose lives were torn apart.
Whatever comfort that conviction brought looks to have been undone. Patek said to walk free on parole in just days after being granted a sentence reduction due to what Indonesian authorities say was good behaviour.
They informed us of that decision and we informed them of our view of that decision. When it comes to someone who's committed such a heinous crime, then we have a very strong view.
The PM promising to lobby the Indonesian government through diplomatic channels as devastated family members speak out.
Disbelief initially, then anger, and then where my wife and I always go when things like this happen, we shed a tear and we go straight back to that night in Bali.
Dave's daughter Chloe was just 15 years old when she was killed in the bombing. The pain has never faded.
Every day feels like it happened yesterday, and all of a sudden it's 20 years. And all I can say is, how did that happen? Where did 20 years go? How come a girl could be gone for 20 years? So yeah, it's difficult, but that's the way it is. That's the way for anybody that's lost a child, not just us. For anybody that's lost a child, it's the same.
So, as survivors and victims' families prepare to mark the 20th anniversary of the tragedy, will Patek's release reopen old wounds?
20 years ago, David Ure was inside Paddy's pub when the bomb detonated. He joins us now. David, just how did you feel when you heard that Patek would soon walk free?
To be honest, very indecisive. I couldn't believe that this had actually happened. 10 years is not much for 202 lives at all.
David, it's been 20 years. What are your memories of that night?
Pretty raw, as you can tell by my face, a little bit raw. Yeah, it still brings everything up. Yeah, very hard.
David, you're heading back to Bali for the 20th anniversary. Why is it important for you to be making that trip?
For all my family, I want to show them what happened. Can I get a minute? Sorry.
Yeah. Of
Do you want to just take a pause, David?
Yeah. Sorry.
Just take a breath, mate, and if you need a glass of...
Recompose?
If you need a glass of water, we can probably arrange that.
No, it's fine. I just needed a couple of seconds. Okay. In relation to going back, yes, I'd love to show my family. I want to show them what happened, how I survived, but also pay respects to the fallen. It's very raw, very hard.
David, what impact has this had on your life? We can all see the way it's impacting you talking about it now, but for someone that has lived with this for the last 20 years?
Up and down. You have weeks where you can sleep well, you have weeks where you cannot. So, to my wife, I'm sorry, and to my family, but you are up and down, you try and manage it, you try and control it. It is a big journey, and it's not something you get over straight away, as you can tell.
Obviously, for a lot of people, the idea of going back and commemorating, remembering these sorts of events may be traumatic. What's the value for you of doing that? How is it useful?
I like to share with my family of what happened and what I went through, the survival of how I got out, help other people get out. That it does make me show to them what actually went on in Bali that night.
Well, David, on that night, you did help, as you just mentioned there, in the rescue of several people. Have you ever got back into contact with them?
There's some people I do keep in contact with. My ex-partner at the time, I still speak to her. I actually spoke to her today. So, yeah, there is a few that we do still keep in contact with. As it happens, people do move away, etc., lose contact, but I dare say there'll be a fair few of us catching up in October this year.
And how important is that support for you, David, that sense of connection?
Well, because we've all been there, we're all feeling the same raw emotions. And it's not just Bali survivors as well. My father was a Vietnam vet, my father was a policeman. They've got PTSD. We all work together, we all help each other, and we all try and move forward together on that journey of dealing and managing with this, which is not easy.
David, how did you get out of there?
Well, I actually had the roof fall on my head and I had a beam across my back, and the roof was made out of thatch. And I managed to actually punch a hole in the roof and drag myself out, and that's how I got out from the burning roof. And then I found some other people, and my partner at the time, I could hear her screaming about 3-4 metres away from me. She was next to me to start off with. And then we tried to get some other people out and find a way out. So I ended up having to climb a wall, jump over a laneway, jump onto a roof without tiles, climb over that and then jump off the other side.
I suppose the reason that we're talking about this now is because of the prison release of Umar Patek, and there's been a number of different individuals held accountable for what happened. As someone that experienced this as a victim and survived it, do you feel that justice has been served over the longer term?
Well, some of them have been held responsible, and Rosen and so forth have got the death sentence. Does it heal you? No. Does it make you sleep a little bit better at night? Maybe. So as an individual, until every single person involved is caught, put away and dealt with properly, that's when I'll be a bit more at ease, but it's still quite raw.
We can see that, David, and we thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.